welcome here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios. We're getting ready a little earlier today on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora and back inside of these beautiful studios. Appreciate you being here with us up and down the East Coast, the Midwest, the West Coast, and all around the globe as we were spending the middle portion of this week at the Big 12. And what an experience that was down in Frisco, Texas, and at the Ford Center at the Star. Really one of the greatest experiences of my career, and very grateful for the opportunity to be able to share that time, share it with you, share it with God above all, and just be, just be was really, really important to me. So I appreciate y'all for being here up and down the East Coast, the Midwest, the West Coast, and all around the globe on youtube.com and facebook.com, both /Wake Up Call DT, as well as on wakeupcalldt.mixlr.com, live internet streaming radio. Cannot thank you enough for being a part of the show here where sports meets that thing called life. And as we get set for this Friday broadcast, we're going to start things off with the Central and Upstate New York High School Player of the Week, proudly presented by Myers Creek in just a moment. We typically do that on a Thursday, but due to travel and having some of our specials airing from the Big 12, we are instead doing that this morning. And of course, from there, we will go to our normal Friday trio of segments, bringing you the Annoying Moment of the Week, proudly presented by the Baked Potato Express. From there, we will go to Lead, Learn, Evolve, Ad-lib, and Deliver, proudly presented by the fantastic team at Chick-fil-A Cicero. And then we will jump into my Top Dog of the Week announcement and round things out with an attitude of gratitude, describing my experience at the Big 12. So a lot of great stuff coming up here where sports meets life on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Let's hop right into the Central and Upstate New York High School Player of the Week, proudly presented by Myers Creek. My Central and Upstate New York High School Player of the Week, proudly presented by Myers Creek, going to Rosario Gates. Rosario Gates, CNS Boys Lacrosse. He is a 6th grader, and he won the 2026 Teammate Award, given by the seniors every season for CNS Boys Lacrosse. So this was announced by the team on their social media, and within the last couple weeks here. And when they made that announcement, I reached out to Chuck Wilbur, the head coach, and we spoke about this a little bit. He said seniors elected him as the week's teammate award. 6th grader, worked hard and always a good teammate to the guys next to him. And he said, every year at our camp, our seniors give the award out to a young man who works hard and is always being a great teammate to that guy next to him. What we always preach, family, play for the guy next to you. So Rosario Gates being honored with the Teammate Award here in 2026 by the CNS Boys Lacrosse team, and him getting honored with that award. Now we're honoring him with another Central and Upstate New York High School Player of the Week, proudly presented by the wonderful team at Myers Creek. Myers Creek, located on 33 Rippleton Road in Cazenovia on the countryside, and also on 720 Van Rensselaer Street in the Syracuse Inner Harbor in Syracuse, New York, bringing you the Central and Upstate New York High School Player of the Week, honoring something that we've never done before, which was go to a teammate award for a 6th grader that's being honored by a high school. So a little unique here, as we typically do the High School Player of the Week. This time we're doing someone honored by a high school team, and that being Rosario Gates. It's important to be a good teammate. It's important to play for the one next to you, care for the one next to you, and be there for the one next to you. So nothing but love for Rosario Gates, and a shout out to Chuck Wilbur and the CNS North Stars Boys Lacrosse team that takes the time to honor and look at what is truly important. It's not just the goals. It's not just the saves. More than anything else, it's how we treat each other. So Rosario, thank you for doing a good job and treating others well, being honored by the team, being honored by CNS, and being honored here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. So God bless to you, Rosario, and continued success as you grow through your game. And hopefully one day you're standing around a 6th grader honoring somebody as a senior with the CNS boys lacrosse team yourself. So God bless to that, and coming full circle. I look forward to it. With that being said, here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, we're going to take a quick step aside. When we come back, the annoying moment of the week will be here with us, proudly presented by the Baked Potato Express. Stay with us.
This is Jim Dispenza, owner of Game Point Sports Complex. You hear the same story across any sport that kids play and any sport that adults play. There's never enough places to play. That was definitely true with volleyball, definitely true with basketball. Could be cheerleading, it could be field hockey, which is what we're seeing now. Every sport has a lack of places to play, and I think Syracuse in particular is a place where it's really bad. Despite the fact that we've got a lot of athletic talent around here, we just seem to have not enough places for people to play, and they're going to different places. They're going to Rochester, they're going to, Buffalo. They're going all different places because we don't have a place here, and I felt like that should change. This was a long project from planning all the way through execution to opening the doors. A lot of work went into it, obviously, a lot of money, a lot of resources, and the dream always was kids being in the gym, having a good time. And I've always felt like sports is the most unfiltered joy that you can observe with people, that people can experience, because it is fun, it is a sense of accomplishment, it's all of that wrapped into one thing. And so watching kids going up and down the court with big smiles on their faces has been just amazing experience. I'm looking forward to years to come of that same thing. We've taken the time to invest in multiple sports, and then what we're finding is the mere fact that we have a large, clean, well-lit space has opened a lot more doors for us beyond basketball, volleyball, pickleball. Now we're having some interest from cheerleading. We've got girls field hockey coming in, and then also there's quite a bit of room for spectators. We've got bleachers, we've got benches, we've got a concession lounge where people can get food and drinks. We're going to have multiple sports going at the same time, using every square inch of this place for what it was conceived for, which is basically people to come in, have a good time in the sport that they prefer. We manage each situation differently. Everybody has different ability to afford different things. Some are bringing 10, 15 people, some are just 2 people. I've had a lot of situations where it's a father shooting around with his son, it's a mother playing pickleball with her daughter or with her son, and in those situations come up and we work with people, and that's allowed us to have groups from 2 people up to 30 people and have some flexible pricing behind it. We're an organization that is here to work with the community any way we can, and I guess part of it is just making sure that we have the flexibility to put together a plan that makes sense regardless of the size of your group. So in order to book time, the best option is to go to our website, gamepointsports-syr.com. You can click from there and sign up for events, sign up for your own particular training, sign up for birthday parties, all of that.
Avicoli's restaurant, located on 7839 Oswego Road in Liverpool, New York, has been serving our community for decades. Your place to go for home cooking on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road is just minutes from Liverpool High School. And every single month, Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora is on site, on location, with Liverpool sports, student athletes, coaches, and administration telling their stories throughout the year. We look forward to seeing you on site at Avicoli's for their casual pizza side, their fine dining, as well as their bar. And of course, you can order online at myavicollis.com. That's myavicollis.com. For takeout, delivery, and catering, call 315-622-5100. That's 315-622-5100. Come on in to the neighborhood spot Avicoli's, open 7 days a week in Liverpool, New York. K-9 Campground Dog Boarding is your home away from home for your furry-loving friends. Open 7 days a week with drop-off and pickup times in the morning and later on in the day and early evening. K-9 Campground Dog Boarding is the spot to trust with your dog for short and long-term stays. Call 315-299-4013 for more information. That's 315-299-4013 and go to K9Campground.com as well. That's K9 ground.com, where you will find all of the information on their different cabins, which include the classic cabin, executive cabin, grand cabin, and luxury cabin. K9 Campground Dog Boarding, where your dog will have indoor and outdoor areas as well as their own private cabin for any size, any breed, as well as dogs with different needs. Dog parents and dogs alike choose K9 Campground Dog Boarding. Isn't that right, Lily?
Hello, this is Dylan Husted, the owner of the Baked Potato Express. We do mostly big festivals or big corporate like private events. Typically just big festivals such as like Taste of Syracuse, Food Truck Battle, Battle of the Wings. I do the State Fair. They're ordering from a fresh food truck that is making real food and happy to make it and wants them to enjoy every bite. We season every potato before they go in the oven, and then they bake for an hour, and when they come out, we season them again after we cut them. We use real butter, real cheese, real ingredients, so it's all really good food and people love it. We have a lot of returning customers and regulars that we see very often. The customers really make a big impact, and this is a big food truck community. The events here are super busy. It's like in my blood. I like building things and creating stuff that people love, and me and my friends are the ones that run the truck, so it's we keep it's a tight circle in there, and we have like a family sort of oriented truck, and it's a lot of fun, and we have a good time doing it, and people love our food, so it ends up making it well for everybody. You can contact the Baked Potato Express at thebakedpotatoexpress@gmail.com or the Baked Potato Express on Instagram or TikTok. We are very happy to be partnered up with Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora as the exclusive sponsor of the Annoying Moment of the Week. And be sure to try DT's baked potato creation at all of our food trucks. The Baked Potato Express. Let's get baked.
Looking for your next ride? Look no further than Great Lakes Honda City, located on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Serving our community for decades, their new and pre-owned vast array of vehicles are available to you Monday through Saturday on site. To search from home, shop at GreatLakesHondaCity.com. Call 315-365-5576 to set up an appointment. That's 315-365-5576 for Great Lakes Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Great cars, great people, Great Lakes.
Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Happy to be here with you Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Started a little bit earlier today as our schedule has been a little bit unique this week, so we appreciate you ad-libbing with us, but back on schedule when it comes to the Annoying Moment of the Week, proudly presented by the wonderful team at the Baked Potato Express. The Annoying Moment of the Week that I get to do every single week. It's the longest standing segment on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. It's been with me, I want to say, for, it might be like 14 or 15 years. I got to think about it now. So I think it's 14 years. Might actually be longer than that. Might be 15 years that I've had the Annoying Moment of the Week. So happy to be here with you. Happy to bring it to you. And I mean, my Annoying Moment of the Week, I would say there's one that comes to mind very clearly, but it paints a bigger picture. And it's sad to me, as I collect my thoughts here this morning, it's sad to me that we're in a place where, and I know that, I mean, people have been selfish since the beginning of time, right? But I look at some things that people do and I ask myself, why? I look at this and I say, why? Why? Why be so all about yourself and not about anybody else? I mean, there's little things in life. And see, listen, self-care is not the same as being selfish. And I think, people put that on people sometimes, like, oh, like self-care. No, self-care is not the same thing as being selfish. And I think people need to know that, because when you decide to take care of yourself, some people are going to call you selfish. And why would they do that, Dan? Well, because if you're taking care of you, you may not be taking care of them. I think anybody who gets mad at you for taking care of yourself is showing a selfishness there, right? I mean, I'm never going to apologize for like, hey, I need to take care of myself today. I need to, do something good for me. I need to reset. I need to recharge. I need to, just take a nap. Sometimes I need to just take a nap. And I shouldn't have to beg for that. You know what I mean? So I think there's definitely a difference between self-care and selfishness. And I think that we have to make that distinction, because self-care is not selfish. It usually comes after we've been so selfless, right? To say like, I need to take care of myself. It usually comes after giving to everything else. And it's hard. It's really hard to sometimes just take a beat, just take a step back and say, okay, I'm gonna relax. I'm gonna take some time for me. It's a hard thing to do. It's a hard thing for me to do. When you're getting pulled in 17 different directions and, you just want to, but see, I've learned that I'm not apologizing for it anymore, because I know myself. And so if I want to, if my wind down is to go see a movie and shut my brain off, I'm going to go do that. Somebody else might say, hey, Dan, take a nap instead. Well, today I want to go see a movie. Maybe I want to swim in the pool. Maybe I want to walk my dog. You don't owe people, I think that's something I had to learn the hard way. I know it is. You don't owe people an explanation for, the things that give you peace. Now, as long as you're not hurting yourself or hurting somebody, I'm never going to be like, yeah, go do drugs and go smoke and, get drunk or, go take advantage of people. And like, that's your peace. No, that to me that doesn't scream peace to me. It screams chaos and a lot of unhealthiness. I'm never going to be like, yeah, go, drink your problems away. That's not a safe place to be, right? But when you're doing something that's not hurting anyone, it's not hurting yourself, to just go take a walk, to take a nap, to take a few days, to just go do something by yourself. Going to the Big 12 this week, I get to spend a lot of time reflecting, because I'm by myself. A lot of these travels are by myself. It's funny how some people are like, I don't even want to leave the house by myself. I'm not going to go out to eat by myself. I'm not going to movies by myself, because I'm going to get self-conscious and I'm going to feel sorry for no. I mean, I wouldn't have lived any of my life. I mean, in the last 20 years, 30 years, I wouldn't even have had a life if I wasn't willing to do things by myself. Do I want to do them with somebody? Absolutely. Absolutely. But was it stopping me that I couldn't? No. And I think the best people to be with someone are the ones who know how to go it alone. because then they're not with someone because of some unhealthy attachment. They're with someone because they want to be, not because they have to be, not because they need to be, or not because they can't function without it. I don't want to be or have a leech. I want to have a partner. I want to be a partner. And I've done every ACC by myself except for one when I had an intern come with me. And we're talking about the better part of 14 years. Same thing with the American. Same intern, my buddy JT. Shout out to JT Lolo. And I hope he's doing well. But I look back on all this time and the amount of work you put in. And I was having this conversation this morning about, you just go and you go and you don't want to stop. Right. But then you have to. So I've realized certain things, instead of just being down at the Big 12 in Frisco and forcing myself to eat something quick or having something really unhealthy, I was like, no, take a walk. And I took a walk. And it was 98 degrees outside, but it was dry heat. And so I didn't sweat until the last couple minutes. It actually wasn't a bad walk at all. There was a little bit of a breeze. And I went to an event and I wanted to say hello to certain people and I wanted to talk and I wanted to network and I did that. But as I was coming into the event, I was walking by restaurants and I said, when you leave, you're going to pick a restaurant for yourself and you're going to get yourself some nice food and you're going to enjoy it. And I thought I was going to go to this one restaurant. I looked it up, wasn't really feeling it. And then I walked across the street at this other restaurant and I was going to potentially maybe go there, but I wasn't 100% sold. And then God being God, as I'm standing outside the restaurant going, do I want to go in this restaurant? I look at the thing in front of me and there's another restaurant that I thought this one restaurant I had walked toward, I thought it was the entire block. I thought it was the entire corner. And it turns out there was a restaurant next to it, Mi Cocina. And I was like, okay, well, I love Hispanic food. And so I went in and the menu looked incredible. And I brought the food home and I enjoyed my food. I was only a few minutes away from the hotel. But it's little things like that now that I find to be so incredibly important. Taking an annoying moment, turning it into something good. The annoyingness of, oh my gosh, I'm by myself. I'm alone. I'm this. I'm da da da. I might have felt that 14 years ago, 15 years ago. But now I don't feel that. Now I'm used to it. Would it be nice for someone to help me carry my equipment? 100%. Would it be nice to take my equipment and split it between two book bags so I'm not carrying an army bag on my back? 100%. I've been carrying a heavy book bag for 30 years. So, yeah, it'd be nice. And would it be nice to have somebody help me set something up or, to give me an idea or another angle at something? Of course it would. But I have become self-sufficient, self-reliant. And so as much as I would love the help, I'm capable without it. I don't need somebody to talk me and walk me through, but I would welcome it. And I think it's finding that piece, right? It's finding I can do it on my own, but I would love to welcome somebody into my space. And I am used to this life. But I find that there are a lot of people that are not used to that. They don't understand how I can go to a restaurant down the street from me, let alone go to the movie theater by myself or go on vacation by myself. Like, how do you go on vacation by yourself? I said, you get on a plane, fly somewhere. Life is meant to be lived. And things will come. And the people will come and they will be a part of your life. And great things will happen. Great things will happen. In the meantime of some of these things coming about, you have to be willing to go it alone and rough it sometimes. And And I learned that. And I found peace in just going and being. You know, I'm not the person that is going to sit in the house and, you know, wait for somebody to call me. I'm going to go out and do what I want to do. And I find that to be, it's a blessing for me. I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid to do it. And it kind of brings me into my annoying moment of the week in its own way because, you know, going through surgery recently, a little over a month ago, I'm not used to having surgery, thank God. And I pray that I don't get used to having surgery in a good way, you know. And so, you know, I've been a healthy person and I'm thankful to God for that. Very much so. And I pray I continue to be, and I pray you and your loved ones continue to be. In Jesus' name, most precious. Name of the Father, of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. I pray that for you. Amen. Always and forever, truly. And for me and for my loved ones. I not used to surgery, and I had to have surgery. And they told me, you know, hey, you're going to heal, and after a month, you should be feeling more normal. And I was feeling better. And, you know, and now I have some soreness. I have some tightness. I have some, feels like a pull sometimes. I don't feel like I can do things that I want to do 100%. And I was on a plane yesterday, and there was a person on the plane. It doesn't matter if it was a man or a woman. It was just a rude human being. And I can feel people's energies. I just can. Like, I can sense people, and I won't absorb your energy. And you can feel when someone has strong energy, positive or negative. And I will choose when that negative, I can almost see it in the air around the person. Like, I'm not kidding with you. I could see this like black, brown, yellowish type energy around this human being yesterday, almost like tentacles. And you're like, no, I'm not letting it touch me. And, you know, when I'm on a plane, it's hard. I mean, I have a very heavy book bag and I put it underneath my seat. It's things that I never talk about, but let's talk about it because why not, right? There might be somebody out there going, yeah, Dan, I feel the exact same way and nobody ever talks about this. But, you know, I mean, there's tight spaces that you have to fit things in, and it's hard. And so, especially when you're sitting by the window and there's 3 seats, so I have to get out, right? And there's all these people behind me that want to get out, and there's people that come from like row 27 and somehow like crawl on the ceiling of the airplane like Spider-Man and get to row 15, and they're standing next to you, and they have to get off before you, not because they have a flight to catch, but just because they're rude, and because some people do have a flight to catch. I remember one time I was given almost no time between my flights, and I was really not happy with the airline, and I never step in front of a woman. I just don't. I don't want to step in front of a man or a woman or a kid. I don't step in front of a woman. And I had to get off the plane. I had like 10 minutes to go across the entire airport, and I felt horrible that I stepped, you know, to try and get off the. I was trying to do it so fast that nobody even. I mean, to this day, I felt bad. I looked right at her, and she looked at me, and it was like, this is not me. This is not my human being. I'm literally in a position that I don't want to be in, and I have like no time to get. I was coming off of a neck injury, so not only that, but I had to go across an airport, and I wasn't feeling 100% healthy, and I had 10 minutes, and I felt so bad. Like looking at this woman, I'm like, oh my gosh, please. I know this is the only time you've ever seen me, but this is not who I am as a human being. You know, so I know how much I care. Even when I need to get off the plane, I don't want to step in front of somebody. And yesterday, this person decided to step in front of a lot of people. And one guy said, no, you're not going any farther. We're all going to get off the plane. You're going to get off 2 seconds after me and the other people in front of you. Like, no. He simply said no. He treated a grown human being like the child that they were acting like. And people don't like that, but tough. You know, I was working at a restaurant in Disney, and there was a woman that was in her 40s, and she was so disrespectful. And she was so rude to the staff, to me. And all I could think about was, this woman is a 4-year-old that's gotten what she's wanted her entire life. And I'm not going to give her what she wants today, because if nobody's taught her the lesson, if for nothing else, I'm going to teach her the lesson that you can't stomp your foot and get whatever you want. Like, it's not okay for a child to scream in the middle of a restaurant, and it's definitely not okay for a 40-year-old to do it. And I was trying to put my foot down and say, listen, we cannot applaud bad behavior. I'm not a proponent of that. I've never been a proponent of that. I do not see a hand in the cookie jar and say bravo. And I've seen what that creates. I've seen what a child who is not properly reprimanded and handled as a kid, what that looks like when they're an adult in society. And I saw that yesterday with this woman that was trying to get off the plane, because she did not say, I'm trying to catch a flight, I got a short window. None of that was expressed. Because normally when somebody has, like with me, when somebody has to get off a flight and they have almost no time to get to the next flight, I will say, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Like, I have to, you know, I want people to know I'm not like trying to jump over you here. And there was none of that coming from this person. Right. And so the guy simply said no. He said no. And I don't fault him for saying no. And then the woman was extremely rude to him, and she started swearing, and he kept his cool, and he didn't say a word. He didn't escalate it. God bless him. And then the guy next to him, he said something. You know, he said, you know what? The guy's not wrong. That's what he said. He said, the guy's not wrong for telling you, like, you're not passing anybody else. You've been rude to all these people. No more rude. Right? Again, reprimanding an adult. 2 grown men trying to reprimand a fellow grown adult. And one of them simply said no. And another one said, the guy's not wrong for telling you no. Both calm. She swore at both of them. And then ironically, she called them a bully. And I said, isn't it funny how bullies normally call other people bullies? That projection, right? And I just sat on the plane and I thought to myself, what a sad showing by this human being. And I don't know what's going on in her life, and I can't pretend to know. Now, I want to give you the benefit of the doubt and say, maybe you got some bad news. Maybe something's bothering you. Maybe you woke up on the wrong side of the bed. I don't know. But some people are mean just because they're mean. They've chosen to be mean, right? And some people, you know, they're going through stuff. And maybe that's not how they normally act. Just like when I stepped in front of the woman the day that I had almost no time to catch my flight, that was something I have never done before. And I didn't know what to do in that situation. And like, I'm so sorry. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, please forgive. So you don't know what someone's going through, and you don't know if it's who they are, who they've chosen to be, or if maybe something is affecting them. And I want to give people the benefit of the doubt. I really do. But the way that she reacted to it was like, if you're willing to talk to a stranger with that language, then God bless the people that have to be around you every day. Because I find it very interesting, the people that will walk up to someone they don't know and just start swearing and calling them names. I mean, you have no idea what that person's capable of. You have no idea what that person's thinking. And to me, it's just unfortunate. And it was the annoying moment of the week because it brought back another time where somebody was, rushing to get off the plane. And, like when the plane lands and people just like bum rush the front. Everybody thinks you're rude, but most people will not tell you. And I remember I looked up at this person because I was trying to get off the plane and I was uncomfortable. And she looked at me and she was like, "Do you have a problem?" And I looked at her and I was like, "No, I'm just trying to get off the flight like you, like everybody else." And I mean, I feel for those people that are screaming in the face of total strangers, because obviously there's something going on in your life, right? I would like to believe that you weren't just born angry. But this level of "I'm more important than you" is sick. But the media perpetuates it, not here on this show, because I can't. I don't believe that. I'm not going to tell you to go act like you're better than everybody else, because that's not how I act, and it's not how this world is going to get any better. But I am floored sometimes by the selfishness of other people and by the age of these people. I mean, grandparents and parents, where you're like, okay, I mean, if you hold a door for like a 14-year-old and they walk through and they don't say thank you, you're like, okay, manners. But if it's a 40-year-old that you hold the door for and they don't say thank you, you're like, oh, I mean, at some point in your life, you should have known better. And I think we want to give people the benefit of the doubt, but sometimes you just have enough. Sometimes you're like, you know what? It's not okay. And that's why I commend the two gentlemen yesterday that did not swear, did not respond to being called names, did not respond to being sworn at. And the way that this person, it wasn't just what they were saying, it was the way that they were talking, their mannerisms, the look on their face. They wanted a fight. And these two gentlemen were like, "No, we're not going to fight with you. It's not worth it. And we're not going to put up with it." And I think in an annoying moment of watching someone be outrageously selfish and rude and disrespectful, it was nice to see other people not give it back. And I say we always take the annoying moment of the week and spin it to a positive. And seeing this woman who had no care or concern for anybody else on that plane, and then see, the people that she was attacking verbally react by being very calm and very peaceful. I respect that. We need more people to speak up, and we also need more people to keep their cool when they do it. But it holds a greater place in society of like this, "I'm more important than you." We see it on the road, we see it in the grocery store, we see it on the plane. And the thing with me, another part of the annoying moment, is having surgery recently. I'm still healing from it. I'm still getting better. And there's certain things that I can't do as easily right now, especially because the daintiness of where the surgery was performed, the delicateness. And so when there's people like this person on the plane, when I'm going to get out, my bag is already heavy, right? But now I got to go a little bit easier with it. And I pulled something in my neck yesterday trying to get my bag on, because I was having the anxiety of needing to get off the plane and not being in anybody's way. So instead of just thinking, hey, move at your own pace, I'm thinking about everybody else, and I'm thinking about how, people are selfish. And so now I'm putting on my bag and I'm hurting my shoulder. So now I'm sitting there trying to calm myself down and calm my nerves down, knowing that my shoulder's already hurt And now I have to get up and grab my other heavy bag, and I have to pull that off, and then I have to put it down on the ground, and then I have to put things on it, and then I have to get off the plane, and I'm trying to do all of this in half a millisecond. The fact that I will almost throw my arm out to not have to deal with people running me over on a plane is ridiculous. But that's the society we live in now. We live in a very sick, selfish world. There are people that will huff when there's an older man or woman trying to get their bag down and they're 80 years old. I was watching how people were treating the elderly in the airport yesterday, and I was like, do you not know that you're going to be that age someday? And what are you going to do when somebody acts the way that you're acting toward these people? It's not their fault that they're 80 years old. And it's not their fault that they move a little bit slower. And you could be 20 years old and, you know, injure your leg, and you're going to have to walk a little bit slower. And I mean, I've experienced this. I remember when I injured my knee working at Disney, it was hot and I was in the park and I was by myself. And the person I was dating at the time could care less about, you know, helping me kind of with anything that was going on. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to grab a wheelchair because it's going to help me get around a lot faster. I'm going to be exhausted, sweating like crazy if I just do it with these crutches. And it's very cumbersome and it's hard to eat and this and that. If I get the wheelchair, I can wheel around. I can at least sit, eat, whatever. So I was trying to be practical. And I was watching this event at Hollywood Studios, and this guy hit my wheelchair, stepped over it, and stood right in front of me. And I thought to myself, I'm in this wheelchair for a few hours just to make my life a little more manageable than crutches right now. There's some people that are in a wheelchair for the rest of their lives, and there's people that, you know, I mean, this guy doesn't know, is this man in a wheelchair because he's in this wheelchair forever? Is he in the wheelchair because, you know, he injured something? And then he just stood in front of me and like literally hit the wheelchair, didn't apologize, didn't turn around. And it always makes me sit there and go like, who raised you? And if you had good people that raised you, where did you miss the lesson? I don't put up with that. I am quiet about a lot of things. I really am. As much as I speak for a living, I'm quiet about a lot of things. But when you're like jumping over strollers and knocking into wheelchairs and standing in front of people that obviously, you know, and cannot stand up and this and that, like, I don't have a place for that. I don't. And I've seen it. You know, when you go to an amusement park like Disney, you're contending with tens of thousands of people. Magic Kingdom caps out at, was it 70,000? And I've been there in days where it capped out. There's a lot of people. And people will run you over if you're in their way. And it's an annoying moment of the week to me because, again, this week a little more frustrating, harder to get my bag out, harder to get my bag down, doing it by myself. So on top of the normalcy of being on a plane and having people be rude, I'm not feeling 100%. And I'm sitting here saying to myself, is it worth throwing my shoulder out just so I don't have somebody like breathing down my neck? And sometimes you want to turn around and just tell people like, back up. Just back up. I remember I was on a plane and because people never put their bags where they're supposed to put them, I shouldn't say never, but there's people that are in row 30 and they put their bag in row 10 when there's plenty of open space in the back. I'm not talking about when the bins are full. I'm just talking about somebody who's rude and selfish and puts their bag at the front of the plane and then goes to the back of the plane when there's nobody on the plane. And so this woman had to put her bag like 15 rows back, and so did I. And so I asked her, I said, where's your bag? And I went and got her bag. And then I got my bag. and I had to make the decision. I don't know what it is about being on a plane where people just, like, they show how much they don't care about the rest of humanity. I don't know what it is about being in that container that people can't just calm the F down and be cordial and kind and, because you're on a plane sometimes. It's a 50-50 shot. Sometimes I'm like looking in the back and a guy will say to me, where's your bag? And I'm like, it's a couple rows behind you. And then they'll go get it. And then they'll hand it to me. And it's extremely nice. And then there's other times where you're trying to get your bag and people are looking at you like, I could care less about you. It's not my bag. And see, what I realize in life is however you treat people, you will be put in that situation, arguably, someday. Or you'll be put in some situation that's going to cause you to care about somebody else. Like, you don't care that I got to go 10 rows back to get my bag and you're not letting me through. And then all of a sudden you end up on a plane 2 years later where your bag is 10 rows back and nobody cares. And then you're like, eureka, this sucks. And, I feel like I've lived long enough to see things come full circle. And that's not me wishing bad on people. You get what you give. Because in all of that annoying moment, I was wearing a Superman shirt that day. And I'm in the airport, and the first flight that I was supposed to get on, it didn't work out. Not because I was late to the flight. I did everything I had to do, but I was flying standby, and I didn't get out. So I had to wait for the next flight, which was, like 3-4 hours later. And so I said, okay, no problem. I'm going to do some work, catch up on some phone calls. I always have something to do. And I'm one of those people that you don't have to worry about me. I'm going to get myself some food. I'm going to find a quiet place. I'm going to find something for me to do, and I'm going to be all right. And, I've dealt with people that cannot function in chaos. If anything goes wrong, the littlest thing goes wrong, they can't function. I'm the opposite of that. I'm the turn my world upside down, and I may be annoyed, but I'm going to figure it out. I've always been that way. I've always been the problem solver. I've always been it's going to be okay. We're going to figure this out. And if I have no energy, I'll muster up my no energy to take care of somebody else who's like losing their brain. So I'm better served to be with someone who can give to me and put gas in my gas tank, because I am used to unloading my gas tank on everybody else, and then people just looking at me like, oh, well, we're going to leave you empty. I mean, I guess that's fine. So being at the airport yesterday and not getting on the first flight, my brain automatically was like, cool, I'm going to get the drink I want to get. I'm going to eat my cookie that I was really excited about bringing with me from the Big 12. And I'm going to start working on my ACC stuff for next week. I'm going to send my emails out for the American. Like, I had a plan. In my head, I was almost like, hey, if I don't if I don't make this flight, I almost have more time to do things that I need to do. So is it really a bad thing if this flight doesn't work out? So instead of looking at it like I got to be in the airport for 4 more hours, I looked at it like I now have the peace and the time and the space to do things that I need to do. Glass half full. And while I was being positive and, let go of the fact that there's nothing I can do about this rude woman on the plane. And, when my shoulder tensed up, it's happened to me before. And I just kind of was like, hey, breathe through it. It's going to be okay. And I just prayed to God. I'm like, God, please help it to not continue hurting. Help me to just work it out. And I just prayed to God. And luckily, I was able to move it a little bit and it felt better. And it didn't hurt when I was going through the airport. Thank you, God, for that. I should have thanked you sooner. And I went to go get the drink that I wanted to get. And I go to the register. And this woman looks at me. She looks at my Superman shirt. And she goes, out here saving the world today? I said, well, trying to help where I can. And then she rang up the drink. And it was so much more expensive than it is outside of the airport. It was like more than double the price. And I looked at the price and I was like, $7, and this thing is usually like $2.50, $3. I was like, oh man. And she looked at me and she goes, you know what? Superman deserves a break. Like, we got to do something for, like a superhero. And she took $1 off, and she was so sweet. And she was like, I was like, have a great day. And I said, hey, everybody complains about bad service. I said, I just want to thank you for your amazing customer service. You're so kind. Like, thank you so much for that. I asked her name. I told her my first name. I shook her hand. I told her to have a wonderful day. So again, taking the annoying moment and flipping it. Life is what you focus on. So I tell you the story about the woman on the plane that was rude and crass and negative and swearing and calling people names. But then fast forward to, I don't get on my first flight. I could have been like, man, that woman was rude and I didn't get on this flight and God doesn't love me and my life is just spinning, blah, 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 blah. No, I was like, that woman was rude. Not my problem. Not absorbing her energy. See, the one thing that I've had to learn in life is to not absorb the energy of other people. When the negative energy is around you, to not let it in. Like, to understand that it's there and to fight it. And sometimes you have to mentally, you have to prepare yourself to fight the energy. Like, I've had people in my family where they want to be negative. They want to be miserable. And when you're around them, they will try to undermine your peace. They will literally try to dig under your fingernails. And I had to learn the art of knowing when it's there, not letting it in, and fighting it. And if I get to a point where I feel like I'm fighting this so hard and, I'm losing steam on this, I have to excuse myself to fight it and then say, okay, I'm going to go home. And so I wasn't going to absorb that woman's energy because I've learned not to. And I wasn't going to absorb the negative energy of not making it on the flight. My thing is, what are you going to do if it doesn't work out? I have, again, going back to my original story, I have done so much of life by myself. And when I say by myself, I mean me and God. But what I mean is I've done so much of my life where there's not another human being standing next to me going, are you hungry? Do you need something? Here's a drink of water. Like, I don't have somebody giving and filling my cup. I'm filling my own cup all the time by myself. So when I say I'm alone, I'm including God with that. I'm never alone. He's always with me. I'm saying human being wise. And there's a lot of battles that I fight that I've never talked about. I mean, even starting to think about it yesterday, I had a really beautiful moment with God yesterday when I got home. In silence. I had a very beautiful moment of realizing something that showed me incredible strength that I just did not give myself credit for having. And I needed it. And now it's my job to harness that moving forward. So doing so much on my own, I'm self-sufficient. So I didn't look at, oh man, I'm in the airport. Oh my gosh, there's nobody here to keep me company. There's nobody here to keep my attention, to make me laugh, to do this, to do that. I was like, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to take care of my basic needs, food, rest, right? I found a nice place, took my sneakers off, let my feet relax. And I did everything that I wanted to do. I actually didn't want to leave my seat to get on the plane. I was like, I got to get on the plane and go home. But I didn't want to leave. I was like, no, I got one more team to do. I want to figure this out. And I did a lot of things that are going to help me for the next 2 weeks. So instead of worrying in the moment, complaining in the moment, and being pissed off that the universe, that God, whatever, was not giving me what I wanted, I went and said, what am I going to do to make this moment better for myself? And I do it kind of unconsciously at times now because I'm so used to it. I've flown 1 billion times. I've been on standby. I know that I have gotten on more flights than I haven't. My standby is like 90+%. So of the 2, 3, 4, 7 flights that I haven't gotten on in 380, I'm going to look up at God and say, hey, 373, we got on it. 7, we had to wait a little while. Those aren't bad odds at all. And I've just learned to do things. And then I met a really nice person. So to me, it's what you focus on. And I'm telling this whole story because I thank the woman for being so kind that gave me the discount and all that. And she looked at me and she said, hey, you get what you give. And I was like, preach. You get what you give. And that really hit me. So it just spun everything even more so in a positive direction. I got to catch up with one of my buddies. Got to get him something special from a place that he loves. I got my steps in. I got to walk a lot more. I got to breathe. So, to me, adversity breeds opportunity. It's a quote that I've been saying throughout this week. It's 3 words, but they're very powerful. Adversity breeds opportunity. And I just keep coming back to that. There was adversity when I got to the Big 12 event. It bred opportunity. It all worked out. And then being at the airport yesterday. So to me, the best advice that I can give you coming out of this annoying moment of the week is do not absorb negative energy. Be cognizant of when you're around it and build up your ability to fight it. Speak where you need to. Speak calmly. Do not stoop to someone's level. Rise to the occasion instead. And see adversity as opportunity. Right? We're all in a go, go, go world. So maybe you being stuck in an airport for an extra 3 hours is you watching the movie that you want to watch, catching up on a TV show. Maybe it's calling your mom or your dad. Maybe it's prayer. Maybe it's meditation. Maybe it's reflection. Maybe it's journaling. Maybe it's eating at your favorite restaurant. Maybe it's watching something funny. Maybe it's music. But it's something, because I feel like, especially in the America we're in today, we all deprive ourselves of something that is good and healthy for us because we just get caught up in life. And I have taken adversity as opportunity over these last couple weeks, and it helped me prepare for the Big 12. I was more than ready for the Big 12. And now it's helping me prepare for the ACC and the American. I'm ahead of the game right now. I am being more efficient than I've ever been of things that I've done for over a decade. And that all came from adversity and things that I didn't necessarily want to do. So my life is better because the adversity came. And that is something that you have to strive to get to. It's not easy. But to be in a place now where I'm like, I'm not getting what I want, or I'm not getting it at the time I want it, what am I going to focus on? And then I end up putting my energy into something else, something beautiful, something rewarding. And that's what I found with myself is when I start to spiral, I say, what can you do right now that is going to be healthy and good for you? What can you focus your mind on that is going to be beneficial to take it off of this thing that is not beneficial? And it takes work, folks. Therapy is a good thing. Prayer is a good thing. Church or going to a synagogue or temple, whatever, those are a good thing. Meditation is a good thing. But it's about building ourselves up. That even when we are at our tiredest, weakest moments, we still know what is healthy and we know what is good and we lean on it. So thank God for the good and thank God for the adversity because it makes us all better. I'm a different man today than I was a bunch of yesterdays ago. Not because my core values have changed, but I have changed the way I look at life, and I have upped how I help myself. So, cheers to being self-sufficient. Cheers to seeing adversity as opportunity. And cheers to loving life and making the most of it and not complaining. Cheers to the good. We'll take a step aside for a fast break. We'll be back with Lead, Learn, Evolve, Ad-lib, and Deliver, proudly presented by Chick-fil-A Cicero right after this. And, of course, many thanks to the Baked Potato Express for the annoying moment of the week. Go see them in the community at many events going on. And, of course, if you want to have the Baked Potato Express at your event, email thebakedpotatoexpress@gmail.com today. We'll be back inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios. Stay with us.
Hi, this is Gina Husted. I'm part owner of Skippy's Ice Cream. The other half is my better half, Don Husted Jr. When somebody comes up to the truck and it's a family, it's nice that the older generation is nostalgic and they can tell the younger generation, back in my day, we used to have the truck around our neighborhood. So now you're lucky because the truck can come to your party, and you're lucky that this truck is at a festival and you're getting to buy the ice cream. And basically we're ice cream that comes to you now, specifically comes to you, not for you waiting for us, we're coming to you. We will do neighborhoods if you have a block party. We do birthdays, we do anniversaries, we do celebrations of life, we do wedding showers, we do festivals, we'll do corporate events, we have a lot of corporate picnics, we have family reunions, so it's a whole wide range of whatever party you have, we'd love to be at. We're so appreciative of the community, always coming up to us at festivals and calling us to have different events. We have a lot of return customers. We always have people coming up to our truck. We're always there for the community. We always try to give back to different organizations and fundraisers, and so I think the community sees that. We like to give back to them. This is where we live. This is where we were raised. This is where our kids were raised. So the community is very special to us. I mean, obviously we've lived here our whole lives, so it means a lot that they come up to our truck and that they choose us, because we're just there to please the community and deal with as many people as we can in this community, because this is, like I said, where we were born and raised. If you'd like to get in touch with Skippy's Ice Cream and have us at your next event, I would suggest using our email, skipthecake, SKIPTHECAKE, skipthecake@gmail.com. That's the fastest way to get a hold of us. It's the easiest way to get a hold of us, and that's going to get the fastest response from us. If you choose to call, if you don't have an email, then you can call 315-456-9750, and we'll be glad to get back to you as soon as we can. Skippy's Ice Cream, the original ice cream truck.
In these unique times, there are those in our community that give us a sense of normalcy and positivity. Pizza Man on 50 Oswego Street in Baldwinsville has been here for you for over 35 years and is here now. Call 315-638-1234 or order online at pizzamanbville.com to bring those familiar tastes into your home. And remember to come see our monthly on-site broadcasts centered around the community and our Baldwinsville Bees. Pizza Man in Baldwinsville. Any way you slice it, they are always here for you. Life gets busy, and sometimes that means us running around. So K-9 Kamp Dog Daycare offers you an opportunity to give your dog a place to stay while you take care of what you need to throughout the day. K-9 Kamp Dog Daycare is located on 228 Old Bridge Street in East Syracuse, New York. You can see it from the highway, and it's just off of Erie Boulevard across from BJ's Wholesale Club. Call 315-437-7110. That's 315-437-7110 to schedule an appointment to bring your dog in and tour the facility. Appointments are Monday through Thursday after 6:30, where you and your dog can see everything that K-9 Kamp Dog Daycare has to offer, including a self-serve dog wash and a retail store filled with all of your dog's wants and needs, including food, treats, harnesses, leashes, and more, making making K-9 Kamp Dog Daycare your one-stop shop for your furry-loving friend. Right, Lily?
Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside of the Great Lakes Honda City Studios. Great Lakes Honda City coming to you on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Open for sales and service Monday through Saturday and all the time online at greatlakeshondacity.com. It is time for us to get into Lead, Learn, Evolve, Ad-lib, and Deliver is the acronym. And today's topic, proudly presented by Chick-fil-A Cicero, the first Chick-fil-A in Central New York, is why do I believe? Why do I believe? And what I mean by that is, why do I believe in God? You know, some people might ask me that question. You know, Dan, you've been through a lot. I remember there was a time in my life where like 3 things happened at once, and I got asked the question, how are you still standing? How are you not, like, you went through 3 tragedies, boom, boom, boom. How are you functioning? And I, like my grandma, like G-Mama, I said, what's the alternative? You know, I asked my grandmother a long time ago. She was reading the newspaper and the news was on television. And, you know, they're talking about murder and rape and fires and disasters and all this stuff going on. You know the news. It's negative, 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 negative. And then at the end, rolling credits, they show the new baby giraffe. And they spend a half a millisecond on it while there's words running over the giraffe. Because people like to gobble up negativity for some reason more than positivity, which I think is something that we need to rewire in our society. And I said to my grandmother, I said, Gram, you see all this negative stuff all day long. When you read the newspaper, you watch the news, keeping yourself informed is also like seeing all this negativity. I said, why are you so positive? She was reading the newspaper and she turned and looked at me. She said, what's the alternative? I never forgot that. It's probably one of the things I say to myself more than anything. What's the alternative? So some people would say, if you face a lot of tragedy or, you know, my grandfather's died when I was 6, same year, 1992. I don't remember anything about that year except for them. I went back and I looked at music, realized there's a ton of songs that came out in 92 that I love dearly, had no idea, focused on them. Movies that I love, had no idea, focused on them. You know, so I go back and I say to myself, like, wow, there was all these beautiful things that matter to me now that came out in 1992. There was beauty in the storm. And I didn't necessarily know it until I knew it. It's the maddest I've ever been at God. Never left God, never walked away from him completely. I was just upset. And I look back on it now and I thought, I'm never going to be okay with the fact that my grandfather's died when I was 6. And then I was okay. I think about them at least once a day. It's been 34 years. I would still credit them with raising me. I very much believe in heaven. And I very much believe that they are good, they are okay, and I can sense them, I can feel them with me. They show up a lot. So I don't feel like what once felt like a loss I could never overcome now doesn't feel like a loss. I'm grateful to have had them with me for 6 years, but I also feel like they've been with me for the other 34. And I believe they'll be with me until the day that I'm done here on this earth, which hopefully I'll be 100 plus years old, healthy, and can go in my sleep. And then I'll get to see them again, fully. But I don't feel like I don't have them now. And grappling with conversations this morning about potential death and tough decisions to make, I send my prayers and my well wishes out to those that have loved ones that you have to make those decisions for. You know, my one grandfather, he had passed. He was gone. There was no way to bring him back. My other grandfather, they got to him quick enough and they kept him on machines for 2 weeks. He came to my mom in a dream and told my mom that he was very much present when she was there, and he told her things that she had done there in this dream that she had of him. He was very clear with her that he heard her sing and all this stuff. And so when you're going through these tough moments, I find that this is where people struggle to believe in God. If they've had a bad experience with the church or some type of religious whatever, you know, at the basis of faith, it is to have a close personal relationship with God. It's not religion, but I think when we're kids, it's flipped, right? Your religion is your faith. And then as you grow older, you realize your faith in God is a relationship with God more than it is a specific religion. Because Jesus did not create Christianity and he did not create Catholicism. He wants to have a close personal relationship. And it went beyond all of that. Jesus was Jewish, right? So is Jewish. And so it's this weird dance of, it's not so much religion as it is faith. But sometimes people confuse them as being the same thing. Like you can't have faith without religion, and that's not true. I think religion creates structure as a child, but I think faith is a decision that we make every single day. And my relationship with God, why do I believe in God? With everything I've been through and everything that I've seen and the things that I talk about and the things that I don't, why do I believe in God? And why am I asking that question? Because there's a lot of people that ask that question because something bad has happened. Well, if God exists, my mom wouldn't have died when I was a kid. Well, if God exists, we would have money. If God exists, we'd be able to pay these bills. If God exists, this girl would have said yes. If God exists, this guy wouldn't have cheated on me. If God exists, we attach God to everything that's hurt us, and we say, well, if you actually exist, you wouldn't have let any of these things happen. If God exists, there'd be no natural disasters. If God exists, then this person wouldn't be going through pain. I wouldn't be going through pain. Right? And I feel like a lot of people lose their faith in God, in religion, when disaster strikes. I didn't get what I wanted. My life is hard. Why doesn't he love me? And there's plenty of times where I could say, why would God let my grandfathers die when I was 6? Why would God let me go through this, that, whatever? But now I'm old enough to realize I let myself go through certain situations. Now, my grandfather's passing, I have no control over that. But there's a lot of things that I perceived as, why is this happening, God? And God's response to me was, why are you allowing yourself to be around it? You can't control if it's happening, but you haven't left the room. That is where I've grown as a human being. And that's why I feel like I can have conversations with people that don't believe in God or they're mad at God, because I can go to them and say, God didn't cheat on you. God didn't abandon you. God didn't leave you. Those are people. Well, if God loves me, he wouldn't let it happen. Look back on your life. Did God show you warning signs? Did God give you an inkling? Did God put something inside of you? A thought, a feeling? He does not let you drive blind. but we do talk over his voice a lot. Yeah, but. Yeah, but. Yeah, but. We do that to God all the time. Yeah, okay. I look back on most of the things that tried my patience and my mental fortitude and strength, and a lot of those things were things that I chose to be around. I'm not responsible for it, but I was responsible for my place in it. So I can't look at God and go, God, why did you allow this to happen? Because I think his response was, why did you stick around? Why did you try to fix it? We blame God for people, right? We blame God for people. People, places, and things. And God entrusted humanity with free will. Doesn't mean we're good at it. But God could have made us all robots. I hope people understand that. God at any given, he could do it right now. God could snap his finger and we could all love him like a robot and just follow him to heaven. Just love him and that's it. Blinders on. We have no thoughts, no feelings. It is not our life. We are just, we are literally conditioned to love him. He would have had an army of slaves. And he chose not to do that. Do you understand the sacrifice God made? I could lose my own creation because of what I decided to do. Because I gave them free will, I could lose them. What I love, I could lose because it has free will. If God is willing to do that, if God is willing to make himself vulnerable, then why can't you? If God is willing to fall in love and not know how it's going to work out, then why can't you? If God is willing to put trust and faith and hope in something when he could have just made it a robot, then why can't you have trust and faith and love in something? See, when people say God doesn't exist, I would argue back that God shows us the human condition when he didn't have to. God has decided to join us in our vulnerability so that we can one day join him in his peace. God has allowed himself to feel humanity so one day humanity can feel him. He made a sacrifice in hopes that we will one day be reunited with him. God, not just dying on the cross, allowing himself to feel humanity, to see free will. He didn't have to do that. But how do you know if anybody really loves you if you made them love you? How do you know if anybody wants to stay if you don't unlock the door and open it and say, leave if you want to? It is one of the most therapeutic, peaceful, and absolutely terrifying things in the world to give someone the opportunity to not love you, to not care about you, to not be there for you, to walk away and see what they do. People do what they want to do. Eventually, everyone will do what they want to do. Anything forced does not exist in reality. People will eventually do what they want to do. They'll say what they want to say. God allows us to love him or hate him, to care or don't care, to have faith or not have faith. He allowed that to happen. So if God can open the door and say, I would love for you to stay, but you can leave, then how can I not embody that? And I feel that God wants you to stay, but he doesn't require that you do. And that's helped me to grow into a place where I want to have the love of my life. But I will always leave the door open. And as much as I want her to stay, I only want her to stay if she wants to stay. Not if I want her to stay, but if she wants to stay. Because that is true love. That is true love. True love is trust. It is hope. It is faith. It is belief. True love is vulnerability. So why do I believe in God amidst all the craziness that I've seen in my life? Because God is not responsible for the tragedies of my life. I am responsible for how I react to them. I'm not saying that anybody deserves it. I'm not saying that our loved ones passing away isn't friggin' horrible or going through disease or pain or whatever. But I don't choose to be around people based on if they're healthy or not healthy. I'm not talking about if they do like healthy things or if they're mean to you. I'm not saying that. I'm saying I don't choose to be around people because I feel sorry for them, or I don't because they're healthy or they're not because of this. I choose to be around the souls that I feel truly drawn to. My brothers are my brothers because of who they are. They've never begged me to stay, asked me to stay, demanded that I stayed, or locked me in a room. We organically became family. They love me and I love them. It's not a one-sided road. It's not a one-way street. And it's real. And it picks up where it's left off every time. So why do I believe in God? Because God has blessed me. He's blessed me not only with actual blessings and goodness, but he's blessed me with clarity. He's blessed me with discernment. He's blessed me with knowing that it is not his fault if somebody lets me down. It's not, God, why would you do this to me? It's, why would they do this to you? And what I've learned from God is I do not believe conditionally with God. My love for God is unconditional. Because in my I had this moment last night, the darkest time I've ever been in my life, I was reminded of that last night. Not because I was in a similar place. It was because I was allowing myself to be honest with me in silence. And God spoke to me in that silence, and he reminded me of where I was. He reminded me of the black hole that I was in. He reminded me that the devil is the keeper of my worry and my doubt and my fear and my self-loathing and not thinking I'm good enough and being negative and questioning and second-guessing. That is all the devil's works. Those are his tricks, not God. And God allowed me to see that yesterday as I called out to God in my silence and said, I need your help. I need your direction. I need your protection. I need your guidance. I need your guarding. He responded to me. I saw it. I realized it. And I realized who was coming to, I realized where the devil was working, and I realized where God was working. That it was not all God. There are other powers, not even a power. I don't want to call it power. There are other things that are existent. And it's getting to the grassroots of that. Why do I feel this way? If something is great in my life, if something is good in my life, why am I working against it? Oh, I'm working against it because there is something other than God that provides trickery. Second guessing, worrying, doubt, self-loathing, hatred, none of that comes from God. It's all the tricks of evil. That's all it is. And, you know, the whole I don't deserve good things to happen to me, that's a trick of evil. There's nobody on this planet that shouldn't be loved abundantly and love abundantly. You just have to unlearn negative self-talk. You have to unlearn working against yourself. It's a hard thing to do, but you have to do it, or else God makes you take the test over and over again. I've taken the same test so many times, I refuse to take it again. I don't want to take it again. And in order to not take it again, I have to show and prove. And in order to show and prove, I have to remember where I came from. God took me out of a hole that I can close my eyes and go right back to that moment in my life. A moment where I thought, I'm done. I got nothing. You know, and I am a person that will always do it. I will run on fumes. And so I don't take the time like I took yesterday to realize what I've been through and how far I've come. But I needed it. I needed to see the battles I've won to understand where I'm at today. I had to finally see how far I've come to let myself know that I'm okay. So why do I believe in God? Because I did not take myself out of that black hole by myself. Why do I believe in God? Because I spent every single day of my life doing fun, incredible, amazing things. That doesn't just happen. Well, Dan, you work hard. Yeah, I do. But there's no way I did this by myself. There's no way. If I told you every person that's crossed my path, how they crossed my path, when they crossed my path, there's no way that I coincidentally stumbled into 1,000,001 blessings. You can say, oh, you stumbled into one or two, but not all of them. I think back on memories in my life and I'm like, that didn't happen. That couldn't have happened. There's no way. Like, there are things that are so outrageously cool, amazing, beautiful, rare. There's no way I'm that smart that I put all that together by myself. I consider myself an intelligent person, but I am not all intelligent. I do not know everything, and there's no way I could have orchestrated what's been orchestrated in my life. There's no way. So why do I believe in God when most people stop? I don't want to say most people, but when people stop believing when life gets hard? Because God has shown me that when life gets hard, He is usually not the author of it, but He is the one to get you through it. God is not the author of darkness. That is darkness's ploy. To say to you, well, look, things aren't going well. God must not be in your corner. That's a darkness trick. When in actuality, sometimes we are left in the dark so that God can show us the light. How do we know our strength if not for it being tested? How do we know our worth if not having to really get to know ourselves and see what we're capable of? How do we value if not for going through the struggle? It doesn't matter how much money I make and how much money I used to make. I still appreciate every loaf of bread in my home. I appreciate every time the lights turn on. I appreciate the fact that I can afford to feed my dog and feed myself. I appreciate that I can come home to a place where I can put my head down. I have never been about the money and the things. And I know that there was a time in my life where I looked up at God and I said, I don't know how I'm going to do any of this stuff. And then within a few months, He was like, I made 10 times the amount of money I was making at a time that I went to God and I said, I believe in you, and I know we've always figured it out, but I don't know what to do right now. And I was like, well, I got to keep plugging away. And I didn't give up. And then all of a sudden, everything was okay. You will be okay. It's going to work out. It's going to work out. I have friends with life-altering diseases that are better versions of themselves today than they were before the disease. They continued to grow and not be defined by something. And they kept believing in God, and they keep believing in God. And I see God more in them now than maybe I even saw in them before, which I thought was impossible because they embodied God a lot back then. I know that in a time of strife, it is easy to think there is no God, and if there is, he doesn't love me. But I couldn't get to all the blessings I got to in my life if not for going through the times that shook my faith, bent my back, and put me nose to nose with the devil. I needed the fire. And I used to be terrified of it. I used to be terrified of burning the tip of my finger on a flame. Now I will walk through the flames with a smile on my face because I know who's called me by name and I am theirs. I'm not afraid to be in the fire anymore. Because I can blow that fire out. And even if God lets it burn, I've made it through so many times. The evidence of me being here today talking with you is all I need for every time I worry. Because there has never been a worry, a doubt, a self-loathing, a second-guessing, a paranoia that hasn't been overcome. That hasn't been, it's back there in the past now. It's back there in the past now. So why do I believe in God? What the heck else is more real to me than the one who reached a hand out when I was by myself and said, "My child, you will not do this by yourself." To this day, there is no other logical, rational reason how I got out of the hole that I was in. None. Then an outstretched hand that said, "Why do you think that you are here by yourself?" And I have dedicated my life to outstretching my hand the same way he's done to me. Because who are we if we see someone struggling, knowing that we have struggled, and we choose to do nothing? I know there's so many people that will not ask for help. I'm one of them. But I've also learned that just because you don't ask for it doesn't mean you can't accept it when it comes. And I love being a good teammate and having a good teammate. We'll take a step aside here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios. This has been Lead, Learn, Evolve, Ad-lib, and Deliver. Why do I believe? Proudly presented by Chick-fil-A Cicero. We'll take a step aside. We'll be back with the top dog of the week right after this. Stay with us.
Hi, this is Chris Rauda.
And Colleen Rakowski from Gray's Craze of Clay.
It's a fun, innovative, upscale catering solution. We've turned eating into a whole new experience. Each of our boards is packed with delicious mix of artisan cheeses. We use premium cured meats, fresh fruits, nuts, and all of the sweet touches that really bring out the best in every perfect bite.
We offer something as small as a grab and go that feeds 1, maybe 2 people, to our large board that can serve anywhere up to 25, 28 people. So we have the ability to really meet and hopefully exceed all of our customers' expectations when it comes to the different varieties of things that we have.
Charcuterie boards or boxes are healthy, fresh, delicious. They're made to order. We're baking the breads here daily. We're baking the cookies here daily. All of our dips are homemade, made in-house. All of our spreads are all made in-house.
When you open that board or box that we have delivered or you have picked up, we want you to know that it was made with care and designed to completely elevate your event, celebration, or meeting.
We've catered parties and events for up to 300 people. So if you're walking in to grab something for lunch or something for date night or movie night, that's great too. Our events go from you eating in the car on the way home to a catering event in a rehearsal dinner or cocktail hour or party.
When we do, again, know what the event is, specifically for a wedding, we like to schedule tastings so the bride and groom can come in and see what we have to offer, and we can then, as we talk, to try to understand what they're looking for, what the venue's like. We do like to have that one-on-one interaction when it comes to catering bigger events.
Our address is 4599 State Route 31, Suite 5, in Clay, New York. We're on the corner of Route 31 and Henry Clay at Clay Marketplace.
You can order on the phone by calling area code 315-409-4171 or online at gracecraze.com/clay-ny. Come visit us at Gray's Craze of Clay, New York,
where we want you to celebrate everything.
Hey everybody, this is Rockney Roberts from Willow Rock Brewing Company. We are here in Cicero at the Willow Rock Pizza Pub.
And I'm Kevin Williams, also from Willow Rock Brewing Company. Happy to be here and happy to be partnering with CNS and Dan Tortora.
You want some place where you can feel comfortable and hopefully ingratiate yourself with the community. And Kevin, he grew up right down the road from here. I grew up in Brewerton, so not too far away. We know the area, we know the people, they're great, and we were just really excited to be able to come to the area.
Yeah, and having the opportunity to meet some of these coaches, some of the people in general already, and seeing the CNS colors kind of around, and already partnering on a smaller level with individual teams really made this make sense to us to really formalize kind of a partnership with the school and get this rolling.
You know, Willow Rock to me has always been about high quality beverages, high quality experiences, and now high quality food in our pizza pub. You know, that was something new for us when we came to Cicero. Right from the drop, we knew we were going to have a focus on the highest quality food to go with our high quality beer. At the Willow Rock Pizza Pub, you're getting high quality, hand cut, top-notch ingredients. We're open for lunch. That's a really important thing for us, is to be able to get that person in here like, hey, you only got 30 minutes for lunch, but we're gonna have something for you that you can get quickly and available to everybody.
Yeah, we wanted something that was just a little bit outside the box, a little bit outside of comfort zone, but still something that you could rely on to be consistent and easy to look at and easy to be like, oh, I can see myself eating this. I can see myself wanting to have that more than once. Eating a whole pizza like our beef on weck pizza, I've never seen one anywhere. It's just a great ideas, great inspiration across the board. We're their spot to stop. We're their friendly neighborhood watering hole, as well as pizza place and place to stop for a restaurant. Not just beer drinkers here. We've got wines, we got cocktails, we got non-alcoholic stuff for the kids.
The location is more important today than it ever has been before, and we're lucky enough to be here in Cicero. The Willow Rock Pizza Pub is a place where you can bring your family. You can come in, you can grab a soda, you can relax. You can come after a game, before a game, your parents, your grandparents. Our goal is to make sure that everyone's comfortable here. We want students, we want athletes, we want your coaches. It's going to be a good time. So come here, enjoy the high quality food, high quality beverage that we're going to offer to everybody. And hey, go North Stars.
We're so happy to have the North Stars. We are very much a kid-friendly establishment. We have tons of space outside for everybody to be playing outside, as well as listening to live music, enjoying some pizza.
The Willow Rock Pizza Pub is open 6 days a week here in Cicero. That is Tuesday through Sunday. And our website is willowrockbrew.com, and our socials are at Willow Rock Brew. So find us on the net, find us in person. We'll see you soon.
And now a message from Myers Creek Brewing Company, with locations at their Cazenovia Farm Brewery, Syracuse Inner Harbor Tap Room, and soon-to-be Lake Placid Tap Room.
Well, I think first and foremost, the Feldmeyer family and our team are extremely passionate about what we do. We care very much about what we do. The Feldmeyer family is always investing. Our taproom management team, our brew management team, our marketing management team, and all of the team members that get after it every day, they leave it on the field. They put their heart and soul into it. I know for a fact that everyone that works at Myers Creek wants to be there, and we want them to be there. You know, we want them to feel good about their job. And again, if you've never been to a Myers Creek, especially to the brewery, I mean, I want your eyes to open really big. I want you to see how big of a brand this is. I want you to see where we're going. The sky is the limit, and I feel very proud of that, and I'm very excited about that. When you think of designing a menu for a brewery, it's kind of open to a lot of different interpretations. I mean, you can do American, you can do Asian, you can do Italian, and you just have to find, how that meets that pub style dining experience, that gastropub vibe. And I think it's super fun for us because obviously we know that, everyone in the world is going to sell a pizza or a burger or a french fry, but what can we do to be different? And what can we do to be true to who we are? We are a brewery, a brew pub. So the flavor profiles are kind of all over the place. And I think it's super cool that we have a massive smoker at the brewery in Cazenovia, and we smoke a lot of our products. A delicious smoked turkey. We have barbecue ribs on Sundays. From a pulled pork sandwich to a chicken wing, and you go to the Inner Harbor and you go to the Kaz location, and you'll find similarities in the menu, but also things that are a little different, and also kind of fit those different demographics or different communities, and also hopefully just drive you to try every tap room that we have open at some point, because you get a little something different at each one. We understand how hard it is to work every day and get after it every day, and when you're done at the end of your day, you want to go out and put your feet up in a good ambiance and good environment. So we take pride in that. We make sure that everyone knows that they're very much valued to us.
Avicoli's Restaurant, located on 7839 Oswego Road. Looking for your next ride? Look no further than Great Lakes Honda City, located on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Serving our community for decades, their new and pre-owned vast array of vehicles are available to you Monday through Saturday on site. To search from home, shop at GreatLakesHondaCity.com. Call 315-365-5576 to set up an appointment. That's 315-365-5576 for Great Lakes Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Great cars, great people, Great Lakes.
Hi, this is Amy from Mother's Cupboard, home of the whole frittata. We are open daily 6 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. For takeout orders, call 315-432-0942 and tune in to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora for our monthly food challenge, and try our Wake Up Call signature menu item, available 7 days a week. Here at Mother's Cupboard, we are Central New York, and it's our honor to serve you.
Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory remind us that every day is worth celebrating at 201 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York. Open Monday through Saturday in-store and always online at maandpaspopcorn.com. Serving our Central New York community and beyond, order anywhere, anytime at maandpaspopcorn.com. Stop in to get a tin at Ma and Pa's on 201 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York to get your half-price refills for the rest of your life. Come to Ma and Pa's for your holiday gift giving for family, friends, employees, and clients. And remember, for fundraising and events, to call 315-450-6272. That's 315-450-6272. Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory. How corny are you?
This is Jimmer Sikowski, owner-operator of Chick-fil-A Cicero, 7916 Brewerton Road in Cicero, right in front of the Home Depot. I had a deep feeling that God wanted me to do something bigger with my life and to help people, help others. I kept putting Chick-fil-A in my life, and I realized as I was going through the franchise selection process that positively impacting the lives of others was really core to what we do here at Chick-fil-A. First of all, it starts with the food. The food is brought in fresh daily. We bring in local produce. We prepare to order in the kitchen. We hand bread our chicken. We hand spin our milkshakes. It's great food. It doesn't taste like fast food. I think the second thing is the way people feel when they come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. It's different. We try to treat people with intentional kindness here, which is very different and deeper than good customer service. And so I think it feels remarkable for most people to come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. And then lastly, the impact that we try to have in the community is very different. It's a big part of the expectation of every operator of a Chick-fil-A restaurant is that they're actively engaged in their community, they're a leader in the community, and they're making a difference. When they realize that what we're striving to do is to shine a little light in their life, that's a very, very different experience than you will have in any other quick service restaurant. And it's that remarkable experience that I think people will emotionally connect with.
Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. We are inside the Great Lakes Honda City studios, hanging out with you where sports meets life. Great Lakes Honda City coming to you on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. They are open for sales and service Monday through Saturday and all the time online at GreatLakesHondaCity.com. It's the only place I've gotten my vehicle for over a decade, and I implore you to go over there, whatever you need, whether it's a car, if you're looking for a 2-door, a 4-door, a car, an SUV, a smaller SUV, a bigger one, whatever, a truck, whatever you may be looking for. Great Lakes Honda City, a fantastic product in Honda itself, and of course, many different options for whatever your life requires for you to have. I love the CR-V. I know many people do. And of course, my dad loves the Ridgeline. I know my buddy had an Accord. I've had a Civic before, so make sure you get out and test drive today and buy and lease, as well as just, look at their new and used vehicles over at Great Lakes Honda City on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. It is time to do the top dog of the week. Top dog of the week going to literally anyone. Could be a person, could be an organization, could be a team that I would like to honor as my top dog of the week. A dog. You are a dog. So, top dog of the week, probably presented by K-9 Kamp Dog Daycare. 315-437-7110 is the number to call to get more information about the daycare. You go visit them at 228 Old Bridge Street in East Syracuse. Make sure you get in touch with them today. And of course, you can go online to K-9 Kamp.com. That's K-9 Kamp.com. The top dog of the week, proudly presented by the wonderful team at K-9 Kamp Dog Daycare. Man, my top dog of the week, I would have to say, it's an interesting one because I met a lot of people this past week, so I gotta go through it here. I would say my top dog of the week has got to be the people that care about helping others and create opportunities for other people. I would say the opportunistic people that are seeking to help others and not just themselves. I have plenty of those people in my life, and there are certain people that you just want to honor and show love for. And one comes to mind specifically right now in my head, and I want to say thank you. I want to say thank you. The person that is talking about you positively in rooms that you're not in, the person that's connecting you with people that you don't have any idea They're even talking with you about the person that when something happens, something comes up, they think, oh man, Dan would be great for that. Stacy would be great for that. Victoria would be great for that. Tim would be great for that. Bob would be great for that. So on and so forth. That those people that not only are seeking to help others, but they care about it. It matters to them. They value it. And the thing that I find really amazing is that person the person I'm talking about right now just texted me. So I just want to say thank you to those that build bridges for people outside of themselves. Yes, you want to see yourself do well. You want to do right by you, right? You want to take care of you. But those that want to help other people, to do for other people. When you get an email and it's like, oh, there's this private event going on, and then that person reaches out to you and goes, hey, there's a private event going on that I got invited to. I think you should be there. I think it'd be really good for you to be there. Or you walk by them at an event and they go, hey, I want to introduce you to somebody. They become a walking billboard for you, not because you asked them to be, but because they chose to be, because they believe in what you do. The people that believe in what you do without being asked to believe, the people that ask about what you do, the people that ask about your life without being provoked, the people that believe in you without being asked to believe, the people that go out and like I said, fight for you in rooms that you're not in, talk about you in a positive way in rooms that you're not in, those that are looking out for others when it benefits them, not at all. They just want to see good people succeed. They want to help other people. I value that. I value that tremendously. And they're my top dogs of the week because, like I said, there's no way I did this alone. God introduced me to people that have been blessings in my life, and those blessings have created more blessings and more opportunities and more networks and more connection. There's a reason why my dominoes have fallen the way they've fallen. And I thank God for that first and foremost. And I thank those people that just look out for you. They care about you. They value you. And sometimes you have no idea how much they value you until they come up to you and they say something. Or somebody else comes up to you and says, hey, I talked to such and such, and this is what they had to say. There are good people that seek to help you just because they believe in you. Not to get anything, but to give. So to the people that provide opportunity, an open door, and give you a chance to prove yourself, God bless those people. I've knocked on a lot of doors that didn't open, but all the ones that did, I forgot about all the ones that didn't. That's how good the doors have been that have opened. So for those of you that open doors, create opportunities, and do for others, God bless you. I appreciate you. I don't know where the heck I'd be without y'all. So thank you. With that being said, here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, we'll take our final step aside inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios, and we'll wrap things up with an attitude of gratitude right after this.
The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is located on 3680 Milton Avenue in the Home Depot Plaza. It is your family-friendly sports bar and restaurant. Folks, some sports bars aren't family-friendly. Some family-friendly restaurants are not sports bars. The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is proud to be both. It is that marriage that you've been looking for years. The Wildcat Sports Pub is your home base for your sports bar and restaurant needs, games for the kids, indoor and outdoor activities, and enough things on the menu to come back every single week and get to try something new. They're open Sundays from noon to 8 p.m., Monday through Wednesday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Thursday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to midnight. For reservations and party information, call 315-487-2222 for the Wildcat family-friendly sports pub and restaurant.
GG Cards and Breaks. Like, comment, subscribe.
GG Cards and Breaks coming to you on 639 Delmar Place in Syracuse, New York is your one-stop sports card and trading card shop. It's where you get to be a big kid all the time. GG Cards and Breaks is special. They're unique, and they're just truly an amazing experience. I love collecting cards. I love getting closer to the teams and the characters and the players that I love. But more than anything else, I love the people behind it. The people behind the music, so to speak, because they truly go to the nth degree. They work in hours where you're probably sleeping. They do things that are so subtle you may not see them right away. But GG Cards and Breaks is special because of all the intricate details. When they talk about championships are won, not because of the big things, but because of those little things, those things that you may not see, you may not notice right away, that's GG Cards and Breaks. They're going to be winning championships for years upon years in life because of all of the attention to those little details. Thank you, GG Cards and Breaks, for helping us feel like big kids and just helping us enjoy and have something to look forward to opening packs and boxes of cards, whether it's sports or the trading card world of Disney, Lorcana, Magic the Gathering, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Pokemon, One Piece, and more. Do it all at GG Cards and Breaks, 639 Delmar Place in Syracuse, New York. Open Tuesday through Saturday from 10 to 6 and Sundays from 10 to 5. Chick-fil-A in DeWitt, what's up? Chick-fil-A in DeWitt. I got to give them a big what's up because PJ loves Chick-fil-A, and PJ's always what's up in me. Chick-fil-A in DeWitt on the corner of Bridge Street and Erie Boulevard. Man, they're special. They are giant. Big brick building, double drive-through, massive parking lot, plenty of space to eat inside. Chick-fil-A in DeWitt is there for you with all your favorites, the original, the spicy, the grilled, the mac and cheese, the shakes. I love the Oreo shake. So good. And of course, during Christmas time, I love my peppermint chip shake. You know, I'm there like day one getting the peppermint chip shake. If I can get over there, I'm there. So make sure you get over to Chick-fil-A in DeWitt today and try some of their seasonal favorites that are going on right now, like the wonderful pineapple dragon fruit, as well as the sandwich that is back, the honey pepper pimento chicken sandwich, the HPP, and you know me, the honey pepper pimento chicken sandwich. Go and get it while supplies last and while the timing lasts here, because it is seasonal at Chick-fil-A. And go and get it in DeWitt on the corner of Bridge Street and Erie Boulevard. Back here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios. We've made it through the entire show to the final piece, and that final piece, my time at the Big 12, and it's been captured in photos and in videos, and you can go and see them all by going to my channels on Facebook at Wake Up Call DT, X at Call DT, and Instagram at Wake Up Call _DT. I've gotten to live a life. I can't believe I'm 40 because I don't feel like I'm 40. I love this thing just as much as I loved it before. I probably love it more. But these pictures capture a man who is still the boy who thought he could, who knew he could. I got an attitude of gratitude this morning because I have gotten to do things that weren't even on my radar as a kid. I had dreams and aspirations, but my world has gotten so small in a good way. I'm connecting with teams all over the country. I'm really close to hitting all 50 states in either broadcasting there, broadcasting about something that was there, talking to someone from there. I think the only state I haven't hit yet is Alaska, so we got to do something with them. But, and they say, Dan, have you really hit Hawaii? Yes, I have. I've interviewed people while they were living there. And one of my close friends in the coaching world, Ken Niumatalolo, hails from Hawaii. So this experience at the Big 12, I look at these pictures and I'm like, man, I'm never going to forget that my feet were on that O of the Cowboys. I don't know why 9 years old sticks with me, but that's what sticks with me. That I was around 9 years old when I became a fan of the Cowboys. And people say, Dan, you're a Jaguars fan. And I am. They are my number one team. But before the Jaguars existed, I became a very big Cowboys supporter, not because they won Super Bowls, but because my buddy at the time was such a Cowboys fan, and I was actually a Dolphins fan because of Dan Marino. And then I got to know so many players on the Cowboys roster that I was like, well, I might as well become a Cowboys fan because, you know, this is the team where I know almost every player on the field as far as, you know, studying and collecting cards and whatnot. The Nate Newton, Russell Maryland, Larry Brown, Jay Novacek, Daryl Moose Johnston, Troy Aikman, Wade Wilson, Jason Garrett, Alvin Harper, Michael Irvin, Emmitt Smith, Sherman Williams, Deion Sanders, who I just interviewed at the Cowboys practice facility. My life came full circle. Still hasn't fully hit me yet. This 9-year-old me saw the Cowboys and I was like, wow, what a team. Their jerseys, their play on the field, they were unstoppable when I was watching them as a little kid. Man, every time I see that Dallas Cowboy helmet, I see that star, it just does something for me. It's always meant something to me since I was a little kid. So then I reach out to the Big 12 and I say, I would love to cover your media days. And I talked about my top dog of the week. They reached out and said, hey, I've worked with Dan Tortora and this is who he is. And they did that on their own accord. And the Big 12 said, come on, we'll give you a shot. We may not know you yet, but let's get to know you. And I found out it was going to be at the Ford Center at the Star. I was going to be with the Dallas Cowboys star, and I just thought to myself, wow. When I made a decision to build my own business, I didn't know what it was going to look like and how I was going to get to where I am today. And there were people that were laughing me off like, here's this crazy dude who's going to go do something stupid. But isn't everything that's never been done before stupid to people? Crazy? You got to be crazy. A little bit. Good crazy. To go and make something that doesn't exist. It's got to be crazy because, and you got to think about this, any idea that's not pre-existing is crazy to people. It's confusing because it's never been done before. Going to the moon, the invention of the light bulb, the invention of a car, cell phone, internet. Just think about technology. There's so many things that were crazy because they didn't exist. So they had to be crazy because most of the world hadn't thought about it. So it's a little jarring. And you say, well, Dan, there's a lot of business owners out there. How does that make you unique? Ain't nobody does it like me. I'm not saying I'm unique because I'm a business owner. I'm saying I'm unique because of the business I've built and how I've built it. My life has been so incredibly rewarding. And it comes with saying, I'm going to do the thing that I believe in. Whether or not anybody else is doing it, I'm going to do it. I never set out to be different than everybody else. I set out to be myself. But being myself has made me different. And I used to worry about that. I used to worry about being so different. Man, Are they going to like me? How are they going to accept me? Are they ever going to let me in the treehouse? I don't want to be in the treehouse. You want to know why? Because I built my own treehouse. I'm not trying to be with the rest of society. I'm not trying to hang with the rest of the media. If they want to hang, let's hang. But we don't have to. And that's not me saying I create enemies. And it's not saying I want them. It's saying I don't care who's riding with me. I just know how I'm going to ride. I'm not watching how anybody else rides a horse to figure out how I want to do it. I just jumped up on the horse and said, well, let's give it a shot. And sometimes I'm riding on that horse, holding onto the saddle with one hand flying up in the air, but I ain't letting go. So these 3 pictures you see on your screen right now, they embody everything that I'm thinking and feeling with an attitude of gratitude. I'll start with the one in the bottom right. I'm smiling because I'm a happy kid, glass half full. I'm a positive person. And I really believe in my dreams. My dreams were realized such a long time ago, but they keep expanding and branching out. I'm never going to stop having dreams because I'm never going to stop wanting to create and do and make. I can't say it's, the words sound so simple to some people, but I can't express. I do what I love and I love what I do. That statement, that's my life. Life's work. I do what I love and I love what I do. I literally do what I have a passion for, and I have a passion for what I'm doing. That doesn't mean things don't frustrate me. That doesn't mean things don't bother me. And that doesn't mean that there's not days where I'm like, you know, you want to walk up to someone and go, why don't you get it? But I do what I love and I love what I do. And it is so rewarding. Dan, why do you stay up so late? I do what I love and I love what I do. Dan, why do you travel so much? I do what I love and I love what I do. Dan, why can't you stop? I do what I love and I love what I do. Doesn't mean I don't take breaks. Doesn't mean I don't take vacations. Doesn't mean I don't make time for everybody that's important to me. I live a life where people think I never stop working. And at the same time, I always make time for the ones that I care about the most. I found a healthy balance. And I learn every day. And that first picture in the bottom right of me smiling and leaning toward my logo, my brand, my sign. I thought that picture was important because I lean into the work that I do. I love it. I'm drawn to it. I'm drawn to continuing to take everything that I do to the next level, to always challenge myself. The picture above that of the big kid smile and pointing, that's my personality all the time. Even when I'm exhausted, I am that. I am so excited. I love seeing people win. I love seeing people do well. It's not just me. That excitement, that childlike fervor and just that fire that's inside of me, I'm so amped. I love talking about other people's success. I love it. If they're out here not hurting anybody, doing things with morals and values, oh my gosh, I love it. I love it so much. I love seeing everybody do well. It makes me so happy. So that me smiling and pointing, that's not just for Wake Up Call. That's not just for Dan Tortora Broadcast Media. That's saying, hey, everybody out there, no matter what your age is, I want you to have a smile so genuine on your face that you can't help but let it just show up no matter what, because you're just so grateful. You're so grateful. I'm so grateful. That's why I smile. And the last picture, the biggest one that's on your screen, is me just taking a moment, a breath, in silence, looking at what I built, saying, holy crap, how do we do this? We're 13 plus years old, my business. I've been broadcasting for over 22 years. I've broadcasted for more years of my life that I haven't. broadcasted for 22 plus, and I'm 40. More than half my life. And what was the other half? I was going through elementary school and high school. You know what I mean? So, like, I started my professional career at 18 years old. 18. I got into college and started MU courtside in November of 2003. I went into college around the end of August, beginning of September 2003. This life is rewarding. It's beautiful. I love it. And I'm so grateful to the Big 12 for giving me the opportunity. I'm so grateful for another door being opened. I've worked my tail off to be able to show something when someone goes, why should we give you a credential? And for me to be able to show my work. Now, Big 12, you've seen it. Get used to seeing me. First thing I did at the Big 12, fitting. I interviewed Deion Sanders about his faith. I could have walked out of there, dropped the mic, and been done with it after that. And it only got better. I had conversations that moved me. The presence of God was abundantly clear. I received a message yesterday from one of my guests that had never been on the show before. I received a beautiful message yesterday. They said, business aside, glad to know you're a fellow believer. I admire that as much as anything. God is real. He loves you. He has your back. I'm echoing Chris Pratt, but I'm not trying to copy him. Him and I believe the same thing. God is real. He loves you. He is looking out for you. He just wants you to get off the couch and go after your dreams. He will have the other side of it. You just have to meet him. 9-year-old me wanted to stand on the Dallas Star. 40-year-old me stood on the Dallas Star. And you know what? It wasn't 31 years of waiting. It was the perfect timing. I broadcasted my show standing in the Cowboys end zone, sitting in the Cowboys end zone. Are you kidding me? God did not just give me my dream. He went beyond it. I said, God, I want to stand on the Dallas Star. He said, how about you broadcast your own show for your own company of your own brand in the end zone? I said, I would just love to stand there for a half a millisecond. He said, how about you put your feet there and you do your thing? How about you bring, like you're going, I want to go to the Cowboys. And God said, how about you bring Wake Up Call to the Cowboys? How about you bring your profession, your business, your love, your passion, your dreams, your aspirations, your faith? How about you bring your love to that? You put me in the end zone broadcasting my show. 9-year-old me just wanted to be there for a second. You gave me guests. You gave me opportunities, built me connection, a network. I got to put my feet in the Cowboys end zone. I would have broadcasted outside in the 100-degree heat. I got to be inside with my feet on the O of the Cowboys at the end of the word. So that picture of me just looking at my banner, that's me saying, damn, kid. Damn. Whew. We are blessed. We are blessed. What do you want to do next? I finally have gotten really good at living in the moment while being so ready for the next one. I am enjoying the moment and I am hungry for the next one. I can't wait for Big 12 Media Days next year. But I lived with my feet in that end zone. God is sensational. Why do I believe in him? Because who else besides him and me thought I'd ever be looking at my sign? Anywhere. Let alone in the place where my kid self wanted to put his feet. There's grateful, and there is let me bask in your glory. God did this through me. People say, why do you give God all the credit? I say, why wouldn't I? Yeah, but you work really hard, Dan. You deserve to give yourself something. I don't have that ego. I don't. I do what I love. I love what I do. I'm passionate about it, but it's never been about me. It's never been about me. I'm not about the money. I'm not about the accolades. I'm not about the awards. That's not what I'm here for. I am here to show you that God exists, that your dreams as a kid can come true, that you can surpass your dreams, and that you can live a life that's beyond what you ever thought you could. I am a living, breathing example that if you truly have the faith and the belief and the trust in God, in yourself, you can achieve anything. You will achieve beyond your wildest dreams. I am a living, breathing example to go out and do the scary thing, do the hard thing, take the risk, and believe in yourself. I am the example that you are the only one that has to believe in you. And I got an attitude of gratitude because God is great all the time. And all the time, God is great. Thank you for watching and listening to Wake Up Call today, up and down the East Coast, the Midwest, the West Coast, and all around the globe on youtube.com and facebook.com, both /wakeupcalldt, and on wakeupcalldt.mixlr.com. Of course, we are also on Amazon Music, Audible, iHeartRadio, iTunes, and Apple Podcasts, Player FM, Podbean, Podchaser.com, Podvine, Spotify, TuneIn, YouTube. All you got to do is search Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, or one word, Wake Up Call DT. Many thanks to Great Lakes, Honda City, the Wildcat Sports Bar, GG Cards and Breaks, Mon Paz, the Baked Potato Express, Gray's Crazy Clay, New York, Skippy's, K-9 Kamp Dog Daycare, Pizza Man, Game Point Sports Complex, Chick-fil-A Cicero, Avicoli's, K-9 Campground Dog Boarding, Chick-fil-A and DeWitt, Willow Rock Pizza Pub, and the Willow Rock Brewing Company. And of course, many thanks to Mother's Cupboard. We are the exclusive multimedia marketing partner of your Binghamton University Bearcats. Make sure you check out the Bearcats every single Tuesday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Of course, you can find the Bearcats, that B, by going to youtube.com /wakeupcalldt. Click subscribe, hit the notification bell, find the Binghamton playlist. You also find the Bearcats by going to wakeupcalldt.com's homepage, and underneath the exclusive partners tab for more information, go to binghamtonbearcats.com and go Bearcats. With that being said, have a beautiful, wonderful day. Thank you so much. Thank you to Myers Creek for the Central and Upstate New York High School Player of the Week. Thank you to the Baked Potato Express for the Annoying Moment of the Week. Chick-fil-A Cicero for Lead, as well as K-9 Kamp Dog Daycare for the Top Dog of the Week. And thank you to the Big 12 for giving me the beautiful memories that I have this week that I will carry forever. We've only just begun. From the Great Lakes Honda City Studios, God bless, no stress, do your best. You're amazing. Have a beautiful weekend. We'll talk soon.